Welcome back to our Mastery Tips and Tricks show. And I'm so happy, thankful, and grateful to be here with Brittney Ashley, the owner and founder of Creator Dynamics and a speaker. She helps service-based businesses to offload systems and get rid of the bottlenecks by looking at the business as a whole and filling the gaps. Today, we're talking about why, when, and how to hire a virtual assistant, which we know is so important for all of us. And so let's dive in. Thank you so much for having us or being on the show with us today, Brittney. Please tell us more about yourself.
Thanks for having me. I will preference to anyone before we kick off. I'm at home today with my son, so I multitask. So if anything comes up, I apologize. But my name is Brittney Ashley, and I own a company called Creative Dynamic Virtual Services. And I started the business really out of passion to help moms work from home. We assist with administration, marketing, system setups, and everything in between to help businesses really start from if they're just starting out and expanding and scaling up in between. So we really offer a full-rounded services for service-based businesses.
I love that. And tell us a little bit about your entrepreneur journey. How did you get started in this business?
Mm-hmm. It's been a process, I guess one would say. My background is in marketing, and I worked in the tech industry, a little bit in corporate, a little all the things I like to say. And then I had my daughter. And long story short, I felt like I kind of got pushed into entrepreneurship. I never even thought in my life I would even be here, but it happened, and I would not change it for the world. Like I mentioned, I started this business to help moms work from home, and it started with my first kiddo at home at 8 months, and now I have a second. So I have two kiddos. So I always joke Crave Dynamics is my third baby. And I really truly believe that. Um, but overall, I started now 6 years, and I started with the 9 to 5 job and had this as a side gig. And then unfortunately, my stepdad passed away in 2019, where I was like, you know what, life's too short. Let's just leap off and dive fully in. And I started full time right before COVID, and I never really looked back. And I've just slowly been adding more to the mix. This is why we offer such a full elite service, is because I saw the need and the gaps, not just to support flexible moms, the job piece, but business owners were always wanting to add more to a team, and they couldn't find them. So I want to be that piece for them. So yeah, that's a bit of my journey.
I love it. And we've talked a lot together about for a lot of people to know why they need a VA, when they need a VA, the different types of VAs, executive virtual assistants, online business managers, and making sure that when they are bringing on the team, that they're setting the team up for success. And
Mm-hmm.
so, diving into our tips today, the first tip is what is a VA? What is an online business manager, an executive VA, and understanding the difference and when and why you need them. And so, can you tell us a little bit more about this? Because I know this is something you deal with your clients regularly.
Yeah, so there's so many different differences. And if you hear that in the background, welcome to the chaos in my life. Right now, the dog wants to go for a walk. Understanding the differences in just in the, I would say, the virtual assistant landscape, because it's molded so much over COVID here in Canada. In the US and the UK, they've been doing this for some time, thinking of hiring really virtual versus employees first. So virtual assistants are really administration task-based, really general support, where executive EAs really support executives a lot more strategic in a way. And then you have your online business managers that work with the team and or operations and everything above. So there's usually a levels. There's also marketing VAs. So how can we look at it as a whole? Is definitely figuring out what you need and break them down in different areas.
I love it. And I love how you are helping your clients, even before they start working with you, understand the difference look at the gaps and the needs in their business so that they can get set up for success for themselves so they can scale and grow and get rid of the bottleneck effect, as well as make sure that when they bring that team on, they're onboarded and the team member can be successful as well. And
100%.
so tell us the importance of your having SOPs, and if you don't, how you help people get that set up so they can onboard a team properly.
Yeah, so many people come to me right out of the woodworks being like, I need a VA, which, and then yes, maybe, but they have nothing in place. So SOPs, I like to educate clients on it, which is system operating procedures. It's a procedure just to help the VA, even the executive VA, and maybe even the OBM on how you want your business to be run as a whole. I like to think everyone seems to understand like the franchise models, like how the franchise models are built and how they want to sell. So if you ever want to sell your business, you need those systems in place, or else you can never really take that business to the next level and sell it. If it helps you kind of frame it that way.
Absolutely. So if you think about it, Tim Hortons, it's a franchise
Mhm.
and they have everything down to the science. Everything has a system, a procedure, a policy. There's operations, there's roles, there's people who take care of each thing. It's not like I'm going to come in and try everything today. Because they need a model that can be replicated. And if somebody wasn't there that day, somebody else to be able to step in and be able to follow the system. And that's why having those SOPs are so important. And that's why franchises are successful. Like you look at McDonald's, Tim Hortons, any of those, they have this all set up so that they're like basically buying a blueprint that they
100%.
already know is successful. And so,
Yeah.
what you're helping people do is if they don't have their blueprint set up, to set it up, because we know that that's one of the biggest defaults is a lot of people hire without the blueprint set up. And then they blame the team, which we know it's often not actually the team, it's that the team member wasn't set up, or there's an expectancy for the team to set up the SOP,
Yeah.
but they're flying by the seat of their pants. They're not sure what you want, right?
100.
So if you don't have that blueprint set up, don't worry. Brittney does an audit with you and she would make sure that you would get set up with the right team members. And if you do have it and you're ready to scale and put in the right team, so you can grow, then she has the right people for you for that as well. I love that you also bring in mindset, leadership, training, education for your team. You support them, you oversee the things and do mentorship. It's quite different than some of the other VA companies out there where it's a VA company with a bunch of VAs, and you're just being assigned one without an audit, without this knowing the specialty of the VA or the type of the VA or what you need. And usually that's when we hire from those companies, and then we say VAs don't work.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with that. It's really also about that setup and the onboarding and the quality of the VA and getting connected with the right VA for the right person and also the right job.
100%. And also mindset too. I find sometimes, and accountability. I find when some entrepreneurs come in, they're not just so not used of doing everything themselves too, and
Don't want to let go of those reins.
and don't want the perfectionist comes in, and so it's really hard to like move it off the plate, outsource. And so that's kind of where I come in, and like with I'm also a certified business coach, imposter syndrome coach, and a trauma with money practitioner. I wear many hats. So that's where those hats kind of come into play. So that's why I kind of say, like, when you go to the website, it's like done for you services and done with you services. Because that was my brain. I was like, that's how I can understand it too and explain it best for a lot of people, because we do so much. But then I also look at how business owners are building their confidence out, like just like a little bit more to make sure that that process is a full tier service for them.
Yeah, and helping them not be their own glass ceiling in the business
Yeah.
with that
Hmm.
imposter syndrome, which I love, which is going to bring us to tip number 2. So, imposter syndrome has you stopped from scaling up. So, tell us more about that as an imposter syndrome coach.
So in essence, imposter syndrome is that we just feel that we're not competent enough. Bottom line. And I also like to preference it does not discriminate. So the next person or the person next to you probably is experiencing it within some kind of capacity. And so I also, that's what I love to do. I actually came through all of this because when I was working with the moms on the team, I felt like, why are they stuck? Why are they stuck? And
Mhm.
so I got more curious, and that's how I kind of started my business coaching and imposter syndrome coaching. And that's where I see also with entrepreneurs, when they're ready to outsource, get to that next level, sometimes those imposter syndrome thoughts creep in, like, why no one's going to want to hire me outside these extra price points or these extra services, or if I like just like tidbits start to kind of creep in that you're not competent enough and that you're not worthy of scaling to the next level. And so imposter syndrome for me, like I love speaking about it so much. As you can see, I get like light up a bit. I just truly believe that we're all worthy of whatever we want to pursue. And sometimes
Mhm.
little things like this can definitely feel like we're not competent enough. And I really think it depends on who, the workplace, who you surround yourself, and making sure that those things are in place proper, going back to those SOPs. Let's make sure that everyone feels like they are wanted and supported properly. So when we tap into those strengths, we just see like greatness. And then, okay, yeah, everyone has weaknesses too. How do we look at those weaknesses and shape them too? So to scale up into the next piece is really thinking of how imposter syndrome might be kind of stagnating you.
Yeah, and a lot of us probably don't even realize it, where we maybe even get the thing, and then the imposter syndrome kicks in, and we don't have the capacity to keep the thing.
Mhm.
And so sometimes it's kicking in and stopping you from even getting it. And then sometimes it stops you once you have it from keeping it. And really important for us to have that mindset shift,
Yeah.
that we can be leaders, that we can have a team, that we can scale and grow, that we don't have to do it all alone. No successful person did it on their own. And really starting to shift the vision into the leader and the CEO and out of that solopreneur.
Instead of saying that we can be, we are the leaders, we are the CEO. Because I find when I work with a lot of business owners, even just VAs, it's they say we can, I can, and it's like, no, you are. You are this, you are this. So how can we switch, like you're saying, that mindset? It's a game. Like it's taken me years to overcome that. Like I used to be terrified of sales calls, and then it'd be like, you know what? I don't even consider it a sales call anymore. I want to get to know X, Y, and Z and vice versa. And either it's a best match or not, and then let them go on and recommend somebody else. Like I'm such a connector too, that if I feel like it's not a right fit, maybe it's like a Wix project, because sometimes we build websites. I know I can send them off to Crystal if we're completely full. And I think that that's what makes us thinking a little bit differently of competition versus collaboration and the potential connections.
Yeah, and we definitely want to be in the mindset of collaboration and understand there is no competition. And that is a big mindset shift when we can all support each other and work together, definitely. And I love the language switch. Do y'all just catch the NLP coach just got corrected? I love that, Brittney. Thank you for that. You absolutely are. We are doing it. And we say we either doing it or you're not doing it. No such thing as trying. So if you are stepping into it, you are. And we are capable of it. So let's own it, and let's release that imposter syndrome so we can scale and grow, because guess what? Then you can serve more. And that's really what it's all about.
And you never know until you try.
Yeah, exactly. And you never know what works and what doesn't work till you do it.
100%.
I love it. Amazing. Okay, so tip number 3, which I'm super interested in, that you are a money trauma coach, and this is something newer that you've added. And I don't think it's something people stop to think about, is even their relationship with money. And we are not taught about it in school. We're not taught how to manage it. It's kind of just this thing that is out there that no one helps support you with. And when we can change our relationship with money, we can earn more. And the more we earn, the more we can do, and the more we can serve. And so tell us about overcoming your trauma with money to be able to charge your worth.
Yeah, and it kind of relates to our topic above too. It can, if you come from like a scarcity mindset too, and you want to, and the imposter syndrome, and you start wanting to just work with anybody and everybody, you're just in this state of chaos. So leading into like trauma money, like why is Brittney doing all these courses? I'm a lifelong learner, everyone. So if you think like, oh, what does she not know? Like I'm always learning something.
Great.
Um, So trauma with money, I just finished my practicing course. So I'm a trauma with money practitioner, and I absolutely love the course. If anyone's thinking about doing it, I can't 100% recommend. I would say it has been such an internal reflection of myself and learning so much more on things that I want to fix too. Um, if anyone's listening and you're like, I don't have trauma with money, I want to send you one off with at least one challenge of writing a note to how money makes you feel.
Mm.
Because I originally thought, because I started with trauma with money to understand and be more curious as a business coach, imposter syndrome coach, of why my clients weren't paying GST, weren't paying their bills on time, and like the scarcity of the price structure. And so that's why I took the course. And I've learned so much about myself and also knowing how much more where my money mindset was actually based. I'm a fawner. So meaning I don't like to deal with conflict. And
Mm.
that's definitely ridged into me from childhood. And so money trauma for me, I'll just talk about me. Um, my parents are divorced, and so they use a lot of money for love. And so for me, trauma was related to divorce, and another piece for me was my stepdad didn't pay Revenue Canada on time. So I did a piece on this not too long ago on why are so many people scared of Revenue Canada. I'm like, I'm terrified. Like when I see Revenue Canada roll on in, even though it's like, hey, you did your taxes, I'm like, don't want to hear from you. Taxes. But I'm learning to accept the trauma, do inner healing so that I can serve better as a business coach and all the other things as well. And long story short, how is it related to pricing model? I just feel like I'm not worthy to price at that, maybe I'll just say $60 an hour, even though I have so much experience. I've like BBA marketing, tech background, like all these things. I just feel like I'm not worthy of that $60. And for me, why I feel like that is because the trauma of my childhood and the extra trauma in between the mix of things, feeling like I'm not worthy of that price point. So I shouldn't be asking for it. And so for me to work and to reflect on that is talking to money, writing the story and changing its own script. And how can I also, because if you're also undercharging, then you're going to start to get angry, not like the clients. Maybe the clients are absolutely amazing and you're going to get angry with them and vice versa. And so it's just a trickle effect. So reshaping your mind about the trauma with money and how your price structure is, I would say game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. So everyone's going to do this exercise, right? So we're all going to write a note to ourselves about how we feel about money. And then maybe we can add a second part with how we prefer to feel about money.
Mm,
The first part of transformation, though, is always identifying current state.
yes.
So I love that. So we're going to write a note to ourselves about how we feel about money. And then we are going to write how we would prefer to feel about money. And this is really important because not only is it going to help you charge your worth, which is going to help you also grow a team, it's also going to help you have the belief that you can charge what you want and have enough money to have a team.
Yes.
Right? Because for a lot of people, they're like, oh, well, then there wouldn't be profits or they wouldn't, but you would be amazed of how much quicker your revenue can grow when you have the right team. And when you charge your worth so that you are doing your work feeling fulfilled instead of resentful and begrudgingly, right?
100%. And I did, because of the course, I did a lot of self-reflection, even for myself, of being like, I'll just use this one client, for example. Like I was still checking in on Slack and inboxing, even though I wasn't getting paid. And so when I was doing this course, I'm like, why am I doing this? Because I'm a people pleaser.
Ah.
And so I'm like, well, okay, I'm a people pleaser, but what now? Now I'm not, I'm people pleasing without even that expectation over here. And I'm pushing myself out of the boundaries of the limit. And so I'm like, it was so hard for me, but I was like, no, I won't do it anymore.
I will not work for free. I am worthy. Absolutely. And then you have to look at where those beliefs come in play in all areas of our life and in our business, and especially when you're hiring your team. Because I know that having team conversations to have clear expectations, boundaries, have KPIs, have metrics that they performance reviews, all those things, you'd have to be able to have those kinds of conversations.
Yeah.
And if we're a people pleaser, we'll just be like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay when it's not, right? So all of these tie into being able to run that team, onboard that team, and scale the business so that you can serve more.
100%. And like my team, because sometimes they're like, we'll work on the weekends. And then I'm like, no, you won't.
Yeah,
And
I
I
love
like
that.
part of our onboarding, because we do the onboarding piece and we talk about hours. That's the first thing we talk about. What's the hour expectation, when to check in, and da da da. And so I make sure I highlight that we do not work on weekends unless it's a special request and we triple the pay.
I
If it's
love
because a lot of us are families, have families. We, like I said, are the business to help moms work from home, and I want that to be their prime focus too.
And I think that's really important because we've spoken. My sister used to have a VA consulting agency. All my first group of VAs came from hers. And I know she had a lot of clients. And I also know my VAs had a lot of clients.
Mm.
And what I found was really hard for them is that if they didn't have those clear boundaries, expectations set up from the beginning, then it would be like, I have an idea here, do it now. And the truth is, that person has a workflow and a back work project set up, and hours are already scheduled, and they might have like a time block for when stuff happens. They actually are doing other things. They can't do it right now. And so, as the VA and as a company owner for VAs,
Mhm.
and beyond, it's so important that they have those clear boundaries and expectations so that they are not there just to serve the entrepreneur, but their business also serves them.
100%. I just talked to somebody else recently in a discovery call, and they're like, I want to hire VAs just to answer the phone. I'm like, well, there's phone services that just do that. If you want someone really by the phone 24/7. But by the way, when you work with me, I'm very transparent. And I was like, to
Good.
be transparent, in all honesty, like the VAs create their own time structure, their own boundaries. If you want them in a set time frame, sure, that's what we'll work through in the onboarding, but they're not going to be answering the phone 24/7 or Monday to Friday between 9 and 4. Like we can actually get bots to do some of that, and then they can come in and do the answering service and see what voice messages are there, and like we'll take it from there. But sitting by your phone 24/7. And the thing is, like, things are changing. In years from now, I bet you it's just going to be like a bot.
Yeah, yeah, you never know. Things are changing so quickly in AI and in the business industry. But I do want to say that that's so beautiful that you set your team up with clear boundaries and expectations so that they can have a healthy lifestyle as well. Because no, they're not open 24/7.
No. And the entrepreneurs shouldn't either. I question their own boundaries too. I do a lot of pushback. I had another client that I work with, and they're just feeling a bit overwhelmed as a whole. And we had a strategy call. And so I said, what can we take off the plate?
Mm.
Is it necessary to do marketing right now? Obviously, we can still present, you have remaining content, but is to go do filming 24/7. Like right now, we're just at the breaking point. So um, how can we switch that? But content's still rolling out. So I push boundaries for clients as well, and get to them to understand their own boundaries, because that's what I am as a coach, as a business coach
I
too.
love that because you want to help them build a business that they want to keep showing up to and build that dream business around their dream life and not another job.
100%. And I love lifetime clients. Like a lot of clients have been with me since day one. Sometimes they pause things, but they still come back. Like we built a full system for a real estate agent, for example, but we built everything so well that because things are slow right now in the market, she paused things and she's like, I feel so bad. I'm like, no, no, we're just pausing things. And now she's coming back for me to do an updated marketing plan and strategy implementation for video and content. So I'm like, see, I told you you'd be back. So I'm like, no hard feelings.
As I heard, the market is thawing and waking up, what
Yeah.
another realtor told me. But yeah, I love that. Always there for you when you need. And when we were talking, you called it the one-stop shop, right? So
Mhm.
where you can have that lifetime client, where you can set them up for success, guide them as they need, and then support them when they need, and whatever that need may be. So I love that.
Yes.
Now I know you have a free gift for everyone, so
Oh,
tell us about that.
yes. Oh my goodness, I forgot the name of it. Got, I have ADHD too. This is why Brittany does all the things. I just, I
It's
just,
a
I,
bundle to crush the imposter
thank you. I was
syndrome.
just checking on my son. I was multitasking here, everyone. Uh, yes, the
Super
bundle.
mom.
So the everything bundle, and here's the crazy cat, wanted to get in the action. The bundle it's kind of something that I've kind of been putting together as I've been doing this, and it's like an everything bundle. So there's a 38-page free document on how to outsource and how to really work with the VA and or when you're like where you're in your business. So it's a 38-page free document. What else do we have? Imposter syndrome document, and then a financial kind of gauger as well, where things are. So it really looks a little bit more into the business. There's something else in there. I just really can't remember the top of it.
Outsourcing and scaling, imposter syndrome, promise bundle, or the everything promise bundle.
Mhm.
You got to find out, open the bundle to find out what's in there. So the link will drop immediately right below for you guys. So you'll want to check that out. Grab that now. That's a gift from Brittney. Give you an introduction to who she is, what she does. And of course, we'll have her website there. So if you're curious, check out the website, book a free call. She's amazing. Not only she's a heart-led entrepreneur, she's built a company that's going to help you be successful and scale and grow and have the right team to be able to enjoy what you do. And it's so beyond hiring a VA, what she does. It's actually setting yourself up for success in the skill set and the mindset and the team. So love what you do, Brittney. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Heather. And sorry for the little bit of chaos, but it's quiet, of course.
That's all good. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the listeners who are thinking about why, when, and how to hire a VA?
I think really taking time on thinking of what you want to delegate and what you want to offload and think of your price point. So if you go into that bundle, that's why I added the financial tracker, because a lot of people struggle with like, can I afford it? How long? Like looking at your finances is very crucial before you just think that, yeah, let's go outsource. To mention that everybody's on my team is Canadian. And so for our like when you work with us, I like to give the ladies at least 30 days notice before a cancellation. So making sure that you have those financials in place. And I know there's a lot of VA agencies that do the exact same as me. Um, Knowing where you are within the gauge will make sure that you know that you can make sure you sustain those contracts with the people that you're working with. And then one piece of like tidbit, there's any other moms out there, what I'm really pushing hard for everybody to kind of really think about is giving yourself grace because this year has been hard for myself. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, and everyone's like, oh, the baby stage is even harder. No, this stage is hard.
Yeah, because they're moving.
They're moving, usually jumping off the couch. That's why I keep looking over there, or craziness is happening left, right, and center. So this stage is definitely the hardest. So if you have kids this age, remind yourself to give yourself grace. If you don't get that deadline done, just be transparent to whoever you're working with, because in the end, they probably will understand.
Yeah, I love that. So we do our best every day, and our best is enough, and that looks different every day. And we may not always be able to stay in integrity, yet we can honor our words by being in communication and resetting our commitment instead of just uh, fear of judgment, I suppose, and we don't communicate. So I love that. Give yourself grace. We're business owners. We know it's a crazy roller coaster and lots of fun. So every day is a different day, and every day we do our best, and that's all we can do, and that's enough. So thank you so much for the great episode. You guys want to check out Creative Dynamics. bottlenecks. And check Brittney Ashley out to know why, when, and how to hire your virtual assistant and so beyond. So you can scale and grow with more peace and ease. It's time to streamline with more ease so that you can enjoy what you're doing and serve more people. So again, Brittney, thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you so much again. And it's Creative Dynamic Virtual Services, just in case you guys do search it, because Creative Dynamics was taken down in the States, but not that one.
Got it. So Creative Dynamics Virtual Assistant Services. Thank you. So we'll have the correct website below for you guys. And amazing, Brittney. Thank you again. And remember, everyone, stay happy, healthy, wealthy, expect magic and miracles. And what is the best that can happen? We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.